Alright everybody, and welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to be taking a look at another brand new 2022 Lemax Dancing in the Moonlight. Let's get into it. Okay, so off the top here, I want to send a huge shout out to today's sponsor, Weffy's Closet. It's a wonderful place for all of your jewelry needs, for holiday, seasonal, everything, she's got it. So check her out at weffyscloset.com or on Instagram at weffys_closet. Okay, so Dancing in the Moonlight, there has been a lot of talk about this one, and we're going to dive into all of it, so let's begin with the facts. Okay, it was released in 2022, and the SKU number used both by Lemax and Michaels is 24931. Yes, this is a Michaels exclusive. Now for some dimensions. We have 6.89 inches high, 8.11 inches wide, and 7.28 inches in depth. Product type, table accent, and it is made of resin. Okay, now let's talk power. Here we go. We have two options, so listen close. Right out of the box, your option is AA batteries, or if you have an extra adapter laying around, you can use a standard 4.5 volt DC Lemax power adapter. Please do keep in mind, however, this unit does draw about 120 milliamps, so it's a little bit more than I would want to put on a multi-adapter, but if there's not really anything too heavy else on it, it would probably be just fine. As for your switch, it's going to be a standard on-off switch, and for the price, I know this has been the number one talk for this piece, and we're going to go into that in a bit, but just for now, the original price that it came out as here today is $79.99. Okay, so that wraps up all the fine details, so now it's time we take a closer look. Okay, so starting from the top here, we have the moon itself. Yes, they brought it down from space right here to ya. It's a cool moon. Look, it is flat, so it is not round. I think that would have been a really cool addition, but nonetheless, it's basically like those old school moons you could buy. You could probably still get them today. They came on the little black pole. You put them in the back of your village or whatever. It appears to be the same moon, same kind of size. It's flat, you know, that whole thing. But nonetheless, it's pretty realistic, especially from a distance, and will be a beautiful addition to your village and to this piece. Okay, so as we start working our way down towards the center of the show, yes, it is the witches themselves. They seem to be dancing, enjoying the moonlight, that whole thing. As far as the detail on them, I think the clothes are fantastic, and it really, from the distance, kind of really gets the point across of exactly what's going on. They're spinning around. The witches themselves, their hands and stuff are kind of all stuck in place, but they are on this like rotation of a platform, and they kind of go around the moon. The only thing that has came up, and I kind of feel the same, is the details of the faces isn't amazing. But again, you know, when you're looking at your village as a whole, it's a beautiful addition, and it kind of fills in that spooky witch kind of theme. Next up, we have the ground. We have everything from cats to pumpkins, and to one of my favorite parts about this piece is the brooms. They rotate. That's really where I think we're getting a lot of that price, because look, yes, the witches, they're spinning around, it's cool, but the brooms too, that's stepping it up. That's trying to say, hey, look, we're not just giving you a little bit here, we're trying to give you as much as we possibly can. There is some basic lighting that helps complement the piece, but you know, overall, if you're thinking concept, you got the pumpkins that do have some faces on them, the cats, the brooms that move alongside the witches. It really kind of helps justify a little bit of that price point, which again, we're going to get to. So as we take the final journey down to the bottom of this piece, there is a lot of stonework going around, and here's my gripe a little bit with the stonework. I think it should have been a little bit darker than it is. A little bit darker, I think, would have been a little bit more realistic. I think they kept it lighter because if you think about it, you know, a lot of these villages are dark, so maybe at night, and you'll see this at the end, it does look a little bit better because, you know, the lights are dimmer, so it does appear darker. But when you're looking at it just, you know, regularly here in the light, it's a little light for my taste. I like the dry brushing effect, helps bring it to life. But again, I would have liked to seen them a little bit darker, and I think it probably would have fit in with the village as well, but at night, it really, I mean, it still does the job. Okay, so now let's address the elephant in the room. Overall this season, there's been talk about how the village price has gone up, and yes, they have. They are more expensive than general. But Honestly, everybody is talking about the $79.99 for this table accent piece. How do we justify that? And is there a justification? So first and foremost, let me tell you what I paid and be fully transparent with you. I got this piece out the door, including taxes in my area, for $36.08. Now, that, okay, is more than worth it for what you get for this piece, and I think that's way more appropriate for what you get. So how did I get there? So I bought this piece from Michaels, and I had, first and foremost, a 40% off, which brought it down to $47.99. Now then, I had a $15 in Michaels rewards. I love the rewards. If you shop at Michaels, please always put your phone number in. Last year, I got, I don't even know, hundreds of dollars, including a bonus at the end for whatever reason. I ended up getting an additional $200 in rewards and got a free house out of it, really. But anyways, okay, so here we go. So 40% off brought it to $47.99. $15 in rewards brought it down to $32.99, and then tax in my area was $3.09 for a grand total of $36.08. That is definitely a good price point for this. Would I have paid the $79.99? Honestly, probably not, because I think for that same price, and it's not so much based on what you get for this piece, it's the fact that at $80, you can get some way cooler things in the Spooky Town world. So it's kind of more about where you would put the money rather than is it worth the $79.99. Now, if you can get a coupon for this, even without the rewards, just a standard coupon, 30% off, 40% off, anything in that realm, yes, this is something that would be really cool, you know, especially if you're going to use an adapter, because no one wants to put batteries in every 5 minutes. Keep it in mind, of course, it doesn't come with the adapter, but nonetheless, you know, if you can get this thing for, you know, $40, something like that, maybe $45, I would say that's more than worth it. It's actually quite large, and it has the tall little moon, you know, but guys, for $40, yes, it's worth it. But at 80, gosh, I don't know that I could get there, honestly, and I told you I'd always be transparent with you in these videos. I love Lemax. I'm a huge fan. You know that. But at $80, I would put my money into something bigger on the Lemax scale. Ultimately, it's a decision you have to make, and if you're looking for a decently sized animated piece for, you know, a table accent, if you will, in your village, you know, something that's going to kind of just add a little extra spice, this is going to do the job. And again, overall, if you mix this in your village, it's going to add that spice that we talk about from time to time. So my opinion, $40, $50, somewhere in there, definitely worth it. For those of you that have the rewards on top of that, go to town on this piece. It's wonderful. There is no soundtrack, nothing like that, so it's lights and basic animation. But again, you know, all things considered, price point, you know where I stand now, so it's a decision ultimately you have to make. Okay, so let's wrap this thing up. A couple final thoughts. I think it's great for what it is. You know, the price is what it is, but you know, getting the witches to kind of go around, it really gets that point across of having a good time, dancing in the moonlight. And for those of you that also collect a lot of the witch-themed stuff, I would say this could be close to a must-have, you know, to add that fun feel, that fun Spooky Town feel that we're all kind of into, you know, that graveyard party. There's been so many pieces this year that could definitely go along something along those lines. Or if you're an old schooler and you got the monster ball and you're creating something along those lines, why not have some witches also dancing, right? It's dancing in the moonlight. How much fun is that? We all would love to do that. So why not add it to your village? You know, again, these are just honest, true reviews of my feelings. This is an art. This is a creation. This is something that you're building. So make it your own. You decide what's worth it and what's not. I'm just sharing with you my experience, my first thoughts. This will be in my village this year. That is the hope, especially at, you know, the price that I paid for it. There's no question I will get some use out of it along the way. I'll always have it on Lemax adapter because I just can't do the battery thing. And overall, you know, the long-term investment on batteries versus the adapter is always going to win. Batteries are expensive, and even if you go with Duracells that are going to last a while, overall, you know, it's still cheaper to get the adapter, a little bit more money up front, but nonetheless, you don't have to worry about turning it on and off every day. You plug it in, it's good to go, it's ready to rock, and boom, we're done. So thank you guys so much. As always, shout out again to our sponsor, Weffy's Closet, and please, as always, thank you so much for your continued support. It means the world to me. I cannot say that enough. The channel has been growing so quickly, and I will always be grateful for that, and most of all to you. So with that said, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next one.